I was a forklift operator in Terrell at a warehouse where they distributed tires. It was a Wednesday on January the 27th of 2016. At the time, I was 19 years old. I had an accident where I lost control over a forklift, and um, it happened where the forklift, one of the switches wasn't working correctly, and it pushed me out with the force of the forklift. And what happened was that when I landed with my left foot touching the ground, the back of the forklift and the metal pallet sandwiched my foot. At first, it felt like any ordinary, when you smash your finger, you smash your foot, you stub your toe. But when I decided to take out my foot and evaluate myself, I realized that my foot was completely white. At the time, I had no idea why it was white. I didn't have my shoe on my foot. I didn't have my sock on my foot. It was just completely white. Where something clicked in my head, where I realized it was actually my bone that I was looking at, my whole foot, just the bone. And then little by little, it started becoming red, becoming more red. It covered itself with blood eventually. That's when I noticed I needed help. I called to help. They called the ambulance. I wasn't able to be transported to the ambulance, so they had to call the chopper. Got transferred by a chopper to Parkland, where at the hospital, at the trauma room, they were telling me that there wasn't anything they could do but to amputate my foot. And so when I heard those news, I was already maybe a couple thousand milligrams of, painkillers in. I wasn't thinking straight, but I know that wasn't what I wanted. So I fought, and I told them that I didn't want my foot to be, amputated if there was any options. And there was another option. When I got discharged from the hospital, when I was at home, I felt very, very, very lonely. Even though I had my family, they were great support, I had my friends. It was just very lonely. It just felt like not many people know what I was going through, painfully, emotionally, because I looked around and nobody else had what I had. So that being said, I realized that I needed further help. I reached out to my attorney, and they contacted me with Jeremy Keshes, and he set me up with a therapist, Miss Jeanette, and I started seeing her maybe middle of 2016, and I saw her for quite a few, for about a year. And at first, I wasn't very convinced that maybe therapy could help me. Maybe it was an inner thing. And as I kept going to my appointments, I started realizing that, what I really needed was professional help, and that's what Jeanette offered me. She offered me her expertise and her professionalism. Appointment after appointment, I started feeling better. I started, noticing things about me that I couldn't even see for myself. Things she picked up on, things we worked on, exercises we did, techniques that helped me, control my anxiety. I have the very common level of PTSD. I had panic attacks. I still have them, but thanks to them, thanks to Jeanette, thanks to Jeremy, I've learned how to control them with their techniques, and I practice them every day, and I feel very good. If it wasn't for them, if I would have taken a lot longer, I feel like things would have been very dark. They could have taken a dark turn, and thankful for them and my attorney. They put me on the right path to where I am today. 23 years old. I was 19 when it happened, and I feel really good. We each have our battles, but today, I'm feeling really good, and I'm feeling very grateful.